Hello and welcome to the Schola Progenium. Today we have a battle report for you of Blood Angels versus the accursed Tau Empire. Now I've got a bit of an interesting list today. I'm going for a more balanced list where I've got a little bit of an assault element, a little bit of a backline element, some infantry and some vehicles. And now you'll also notice that I've got the Redeemer on here. Now I never use my Redeemer, he never gets to see battle. And I don't see any on battle reports either when I'm watching them on YouTube, so I figure they don't really get much play in 8th edition. Now he's got extra toughness, he's toughness 8, he's a 2-up armor save, and he's got an extra 2 wounds at 16 wounds over a Storm Raven, and he has the same carrying capacity. Now yeah, you may say, oh, but the Storm Raven has a load of extra firepower. I was thinking to myself, well, this guy's got a multi-melter, he's got twin assault cannons, which a lot of people like to take on their Storm Raven anyway, so really he's just lacking Storm Strike missiles and Hurricane bolters. But he does have these Flame Storm cannons, which off the top of my head are Strength 6, AP -2, 2 damage each, and they roll D6 automatic hits, and I think they're 8-inch range. So you have to get up close, you're just going to drive forward with that guy and get him into close range fire. If people want to assault him and try and get the guys inside, then you know they've got to face those Flame Storm cannons. So I figure I'll give him a go and see how he does in comparison to the Storm Raven that I would normally take. So getting on with the list in detail, I have a Supreme Command Detachment and a Battalion, and then a few extra attached units. So that brings me up to 9 command points. Now I've got my Supreme Command Detachment is 2 captains and Mephiston, and 1 captain is a jump pack captain, a slam captain with all the toys. So he's got a Storm Shield, he's got a Thunder Hammer, he's got a jump pack, and we are going to make him our Warlord and give him pay 1 command point, so I'll go down to 8, so that he gets an extra attack. He's basically got Black Rage. Then this guy's just a Terminator captain in Cataphractii armor, so he's tougher, but he has a little less movement, and he's got twin lightning claws, which is really nasty at hacking stuff up, infantry and characters. Then I've got Mephiston in there, and we all know what he does. And psychic power wise, I'm going to have the wings, and then the 2 extra attack powers. So he can give a unit extra attacks and himself D3 extra attacks, +3 charge and advance. And then I've got a priest. Now that priest gives him +1 strength. So if I was fighting against stuff that was toughness 8, my captain would be wounding on 2s, and this power fist would wound on 2s, because normally I'd wound on 3s because it's double strength, and then Blood Angels 2. So that priest with that +1 strength and with the weapons that double strength, it makes a big difference, but may not come into play this game so much. But he is able to heal D3 wounds off my characters or units, so you know that's really useful. So then I also have a simple battalion of 3 tactical marines, 5 men in each, just bare bones. I have a Land Raider with all the attachments. He's got a heavy bolter, he's got a storm bolter and 4 last cannons, and then I also have 5 assault marines. They're just standard, but they do have 2 melters in there. And then finally I have Lamartes, and Lamartes has 13 Death Company with him, and that they've got 2 Thunder Hammers and 4 Power Swords. And then I've just realised that I haven't put on the table a Baal Predator, and the Baal Predator comes with twin assault cannons and 2 heavy bolters. So I'll put him on in deployment. So all in all, 8 command points to play with, and I'm hoping this list will be good. I'm thinking it's one of those lists where it doesn't have really committed assault, you know, good assault there, but not like overpowered assault, and it doesn't have overpowered backline. I've only got 4 last cannons, which is really not as many as you would want to take. If you're going down the last cannon route, you need lots of last cannons. But I think if I play it right and I combine my units effectively, then this will be a really powerful list. So it's all about playing it carefully, combining the right units at the right time, using my manoeuvrability, my flexibility, possibly hopping in and out of these transports, getting lots of attacks off at the time that I choose, because they'll be safe in this Land Raider as it moves forward. So let's see what they're facing today, the accursed Tau Empire. So I just thought I'd show you the whole army in all its glory, because it looks a little more intimidating when you've got that little extra Baal Predator on there. I normally like to take 2 Baal Predators in a hunting pack, but today I'm only going to take 1 just to put in a little bit of extra Dakka in support of of this army. So let's see what happens. Let's see who they're facing. So today Sam's using my Tau army, which is in a very long and slow process of being revamped. So I've got a couple of extra units in there that I don't think I've used on battle reports before, but they're not quite finished painting, and a couple of models just need a little bit of TLC. But all in all, this is, you know, it's a good list. I like using this list. The hammerheads may not be the most popular online, but all in all, this list, you know, it's successful when I use it. So Sam's going to be using it today. He likes Tau, but he's never collected them just because we play so frequently against each other, and he thought, won't bother collecting Tau, and then ended up getting Space Marines anyway. But you know, so he wants to use the Tau today, and that's good for me and it's good for you, because it'll be a fun Batrep for us to see on the channel. So let's get stuck in. So he has a vanguard detachment of elites, he has a battalion with some infantry, and he's also got a heavy support detachment. So he's got in total 10 command points. So we'll look at the vanguard first, and that's 2 units of 5 stealth suits, and all of them, I've paid the points, or he's paid the points for advanced targeting systems. So effectively all wielding 4-shot heavy bolters, because it's -1 AP on all of them now. The commanders have marker lights, obviously. They've each got 2 marker drones with them. So and these are the is it Viola, which allow them to move and advance and shoot their weapons without penalty. And then this guy is the 3rd elite choice, a Ghost Killer. He's got 2 fusion blasters and the cyclic Iron Raker, and he has the I think it's target lock, so he counts heavy weapons as assault. So all of these units can just move and advance and shoot without penalty, which is really nice. Gives Sam a really nice flexible element to the Tau line. Then we've got 3 units of 6 Fire Warriors, just with pulse weapons, good old pulse rifles, and they're backed up by a Fire Blade, so they'll be getting an extra shot each, which is really good. And then added to that, we have 5 Pathfinders, and they come with the Pulse Accelerator drone, which means all pulse weapons within 6 inches of that drone will get +6-inch range. So Sam's looking at a lot of firepower from the Fireblade combined with these guys, and going out to 18-inch rapid fire or 36-inch normal range. So he's going to be able to put down some anti-infantry fire all over the battlefield with that fire base. He's also got a Piranha with a fusion blaster and 2 drones, nothing else but just, you know, to give him extra little bit of punch where he needs it, when he needs it on the battlefield, just scooting around, just in case you need that extra dice roll. Then he's got 3 commanders leading the various detachments, or one's attached to the battalion. So that is a triple plasma with a shield generator and 2 gun drones. Then we have triple missile launch, and sorry about the missing arm, with advanced targeting systems and 2 gun drones. Then we have triple fusion on this commander. He also has a shield, and he has 2 gun drones, and he also has the relic, which allows him to make a 6-inch move after he's fired. So he has the heralded jump, shoot, jump. And then finally we have 4 hammerheads. We have Long Strike, he's just the all black one. Figure he'll probably get blown up first of the hammerheads, so may as well have the unpainted one as Long Strike. So he gives +1 to hit to hammerheads within 6 inches of him, so that's really useful. He also does the mortal wounds on a 5 or a 6, so he has +1 to wound himself against vehicles and monstrous creatures. So he's really good, really useful with these hammerheads if they can stay alive and weather firepower. Then we have 2 hammerheads with railguns, and they've all got smart missile systems, and then 1 hammerhead with the iron cannon, because I think, you know, when you've got the railguns, I like the railguns, Sam likes the railguns, they are useful. Sam has the option of taking the turrets with the iron cannon today, but he agrees with me that just 1 iron cannon complements the railguns nicely, because if the railguns miss out, you know, you fire the railguns, don't quite finish something off, then that iron cannon is the more reliable firepower. If you just had 1 more railgun shot and you squiffed it, then you'd probably have messed up your turn, or something game-changing could happen. But with that iron cannon, it just gives you that reliable last punch to finish something off if these guys have a bad turn of shooting. So the battalion are Tau, Sept. Obviously the heavy detachment is Tau Sept, because Long Strike has to be Tau. And then these guys, as we said before, are Viola. So Sam has 10 command points in total, and I am starting the game with only 8. So let's see what happens. Let's get stuck in. After deployment, so we are playing the game in chapter approved, where you have 6 objectives, and 1 is rolled for at the beginning of each battle round to be the superior objective. We'll do that in a second. So we've got the deployment where you are 18 inches away from each other and long table edge. I have a unit of 5 TAC Marines near this objective, but their main job is to stop Fusion Blaster, Commander, deep striking in. But there, Sam's counter deployed with all his stealth units really close. And on this objective, we're going to use this silver one as the superior objective so we can keep track. So at the end of every battle round, each objective is worth 1 point, but the superior is worth 2 points. And then you roll again, and if you get a 6, all of them are worth 2 points. Then in the middle here, I've got this big line of sight blocking bit terrain here. So I've got my Predator there, within range of his Fire Warriors and that kind of thing, and all his Pathfinders to do some Dakar. And then I have my Land Raider with last cannons wedged in there as well. And he has 1 unit of TAC Marines in. I also have a Captain there, because he's close enough that you can jump forward and join in with the units in here when the time starts. Time comes to start having some fun, but he can give buffs reroll ones to hit for now. And then I've got my another 5-man TAC Marine squad just hidden behind here. They're more than 30 inches away from the naughty Seeker missiles, not Seeker missiles, smart missile systems, because they don't need line of sight. I am more than 30 inches away, but they're not on an objective or anything. But again, they're preventing deep strike on this flank. And Sam didn't give in to temptation of putting his stealth suits here, because I would have flamestormed him for show. So, on the Tau side of things, as I've said, on this flank we have the Viola detachment, and this, can operate independently of the rest of the Tau lines. That's his flexible element of his army. Then he has 3 inches 6 Fire Warriors and a unit of 5 Pathfinders, and they're all within 6 inches of a Fire Blade, so they're all getting +1 shot, and they're all within 3 inches of a Pulse Accelerator Gen, so they're all 6 inches extra range. So this is an absolutely mega Dakar. He can shoot all the way over to those TAC Marines easily. You can basically hit the back of the board for quite a wide, broad bubble. Then he's got Long Strike here with a Hammerhead there with Railgun, a Hammerhead there with Railgun, and then his Iron Cannon Railgun just there in cover. Long Strike's got his nose in cover as well, and he's got them quite spread out. I probably would have tried and wedged them all really tight into that bit of terrain. Sam's doing his own thing, and that's cool. He's also got his plasma rifle guy here, just defending his back lines, not deep striking in. His fusion guy's going to deep strike, but this guy's defending against the inevitable Blood Angel assault. And we've got the missile guy over here, ready to, and he's got advanced targeting systems, as we said, so -1 to armor save, so it's -2 for his missiles, which is really useful, really ups its game. And then finally a Piranha over here with a fusion blaster, just ready to streak over and assault and harass my flanks. So the Supreme Command Detachment is of course in the Redeemer. So we will roll now for superior objective, and we've rolled off for who goes first, have we?
Yep.
Yeah. And Sam's going first. I failed to steal the initiative. I forgot to do that roll on camera. We'll roll now, so this is going to count as 1, and then the one in there is 2, the one over there is 3, and then the one that is just in that little building by the Redeemer is 4, that's 5, and that one is 6. So this is for the superior objective for turn 1, and it is a 4, which is this one here. So if Sam stays on this objective and doesn't move forward and just dackers my lines, oh, is it? Yep. Oh yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's the building over there. Excellent. So my Redeemer's holding that objective, and those TAC Marines are within range of running onto it, so that's probably what I'll do. So without much further ado, let's get stuck in. The Tau first turn. So the Tau have had a solid first turn. They opted not to move with these guys, and or basically anything apart from the Plasma Commander, who moved into range of 24 inches of the TAC Marines that were there. Then he started off with his tanks. He fired he started off with his Marker Lights, and he put them all on the Land Raider, and ended up getting 5 hits in total. But he had to spend a command point to get D3 extra, and only gave him +1, but that got him 5 Marker Lights. And then he was doing re-rolling 1s to hit and +1 to hit against the Landy. Then he basically fired everything into the Landy, apart from this stealthy suit unit here, which fired the Tactical Marines that were there. And I believe these stealth suits fired at the Predator. They did really well, but I got really lucky with my saves and only took 1 damage. In the end, the Land Raider was left on 1 wound, so I just managed to save. I used a command point reroll on a Seeker missile and saved myself from getting that extra D6. Sam's fired all the Seeker missiles. He had 2 on Long Strike, 1 on the Iron Cannon, Hammerhead, and they're all fired off now. So he almost killed the Land Raider, but it's on its last bracket. It's absolutely knackered, and I've spent a command point, so I'm down to 7, and he did get first blood. because these guys were no match for strafing plasma. 3 shots from here, and then a load of AP -1, strength 5 shots, 20 shots over from here. So it's a solid turn for the Tau, but they are a little disappointed. I managed to get 2 6-up saves on this Land Raider from railguns. One from Long Strike and one from the other painted, that guy there. So I got really lucky there. He could have died 3 times in 3 separate occasions, but I got 2 6-up saves, and then I got command pointed the Seeker missile, as I said. So as I said, this is superior objective. Sam's currently holding 2 objectives. He opted not to move that hammerheads and not take that objective for the end of the battle round, but now he's regretting it because he actually got 5 marker lights on there. He didn't realise he'd get all 5. He got lucky with his last burst of marker lights, which meant he could have moved it and it still would have been hitting on 2s. But that it is what it is. So we'll get on with Blood Angels, turn 1. So after Blood Angel's first turn, it was very similar to the Tau turn. They actually fired everything into this guy. I really debated getting all my guys out because there would have been about a 5-inch charge from here. The captain could have jumped forward 12, been 6 inches away from that hammerhead, but I decided to just keep him in. Got this guy there for a reason, and try and pop one of the tanks to reduce the incoming fire on this guy. But he has got this guy coming in, and after firing everything from here and here, multi-melter assault cannon, 4 last cannons into this guy, I got him down to about 10 wounds. Decided, I'll use my ball. I really want to use him to just trim down the obsec over the course of the game. I thought, right, I'll have to use my ball. Sprayed off, got 2 more wounds, so I just failed to kill his tanks. So both of our tanks at the end of the battle round ended up on 1 wound. Sam did, however, kill the tactical marines in his turn, so he's got first strike and I haven't. In terms of points, I'm moved and advanced over to the superior objective, so I got 2 points at the end of the battle round, and Sam holds 1 objective with the fire warriors and 1 objective with the stealth drones. So it's 2 all, but Sam got first strike, so it's 3-2. An early, narrow lead for the Tau. Let's get on to round 2. Oh, and we'll work out what the superior objective is now. So 1, 2, 3. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So superior is 4 again, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. So these tactical marines continue to hold the superior objective. Excellent. Right, on to Tau, turn 2. So Tau, turn 2. Another frustratingly close to being destroyed Land Raider. I'm not sure if that's very good English, but still, this Land Raider has 2 wounds remaining. He pounded into it. He got 5 marker lights on it. He had to spend the command point again to get D3, an extra D3, but he got rerolls ones to hit, and all the gubbins. Then he fired off all of his hammerheads at it and managed to get it down to about 10 wounds. He wasn't that good with his hammerheads, and then the fire warriors came in and they did really well. Each squad just blasted away, and even though he's got 2-up armor save, I just couldn't stop getting ones. And he got about 3 wounds with each squad through, 3 or 4 wounds, some maybe I think 5 with one squad through, with 1, 3 with another. And I failed 2 wounds a couple of times over, so he ended up with 2 wounds remaining. These guys all fired at the Bile Predator that was here and the Land Raider that was on 1 wound, and they blew both up. These guys are so good. Each unit is relatively expensive. 199 points for the stealth squad with 2 marker drones, 5 guys, and all with advanced targeting systems for -1. But it's 20 heavy 18-inch heavy bolter shots per squad. And this guy with his fusion guns and his cyclic iron rake are overcharged to get strength. It just absolutely pounds through medium vehicles without any problems whatsoever. And obviously he had no problem just plinking off the final wound from the Land Raider. So I moved those guys onto this objective. So I'm looking good for scoring points. And he has got this guy over here harassing my flank. Failed to get any actual damage this time, but he's moved into a threatening position. But this guy has lived, which means I can use his flame storms, they're automatic hits on his infantry, and that's exactly what I wanted. So I'm about to get in with my Supreme Command detachment. It's party time. Blood Angels, turn 2. So the Blood Angels have come in turn 2 and struck against the Tau. They haven't got as much damage done as they wanted, but they've done enough to keep them in the game. So I piled all of my guys out of the Redeemer to just in this bit of terrain here. So I had 5 assault marines with 2 melters, a captain, he moved up, and I had another captain with lightning claws and termi armor, Mephiston, and a priest. And then what they did was they basically all charged into long strike, and the commander that was here, the missile commander, Sam's warlord. Now the warlord failed his charge. It was a 7-inch charge. He failed it even with the command reroll, just couldn't make that charge. So then Mephi had to take Overwatch when he charged in. He charged the commander and long strike that were right next to each other, and he managed to get in. But he took 3 wounds in the process because he got hit with a railgun. But some feel no pains kept him in the game. So Mephi's taken 3 wounds. Then everyone else charged in and just got into a combination of long strike or the commander. I hacked at the commander with chainswords and managed to do a wound. Even with his 2-up armor save, that 1 came up. Then I punched him with the Sanguinary Priest, got 1 through, and did a re-roll on a command point, I believe, but still only got a 1 on the D3 wounds through on the commander. So he was on 3 wounds or something like that. I can't remember exactly. I think I'd done another wound to him with something else. So a wound had gone on him. Oh yeah, from a crack grenade from the Sanguinary Priest in the shooting phase, because he moved right up next to him. Then basically Mephiston and everyone had just sort of sprayed away. Mephiston smited the 1 wound hammerhead that was here, so that's what cleared the path, because that died but it didn't explode. And then basically Mephiston come in and he'd given himself 2 extra attacks, and he did 3 on the commander, 3 on long strike, and killed them both. So the warlord is dead, which got me a point, and long strike is dead, so no more buffs. I've also consolidated into this guy. Got a little bit of a screen here to protect me from fire warriors cutting apart my characters, although this guy can hit me in the back, probably, or he can hit the priest in the back at least. So I'm in a bit of a risky position here, but not too risky. I'm pretty happy with that. Killed 2 big threats, and these guys are now, he's going to have to move, which is going to mean he's hitting on a really low value. And this guy, he's a big threat, but I can take him out, hopefully, with something. Still got all these fire warriors here. I shot into them with the Redeemer, focused 2 Redeemer cannons on the Pathfinders, but only managed to kill 1. I only rolled 3 hits, and I command pointed it and stayed with 3 hits. Couldn't believe it. So I've burnt through a lot of command points. I've only got 1 left. And the multi-melter, I think, went onto long strike and did a little bit of damage. And these 2 melters only got 1 through and did a little bit of damage. So the long strike had taken about 6 or 8 wounds before I got into combat with him. Oh, it was a full 8 wounds before I got into combat with him. So I'd done all right with my melters before I got in. That was it for shooting, apart from my Death Company all deployed within 9 inches of the commander as the closest model, and sprayed into him, did 1 wound, that Iridium armor, the 2-up armor save, keeping him alive. He didn't bother using his drones for that. Then I charged him with some power swords, but I rolled absolutely terribly, even with reroll from Lamarty. I just couldn't get my wounds through, so he's taken only 4 wounds. I was hoping to butcher him. And then I didn't have enough chainswords really. I put the chainsword part of the unit into the stealth suits, did a multi-charge into the all 3 units here with the Death Company, but I only managed to kill 1 with chainswords here, which is kind of what I expected. And then I did 6 wounds to this guy with thunder hammers. So although I didn't kill any of the units, I believe I've taken him down a bracket because he's got 10 wounds. I've killed a stealth suit, which is always useful, and I've hurt this commander, which is, I wanted to kill him because he's going to plasma the hell out of these Death Company now, and they've lost 5, 2 in combat and 3 from Overwatch on the way, and that Tau Overwatch, these guys didn't have Tau Overwatch of course, but the combination of Overwatch, these 2 supporting each other, was a multi-charge which took a lot of damage on the way in. So Sam's castle is sort of being compressed on 2 fronts. The horns of the buffalo are compressing in on his forces, but he does have a stray couple of units flying around on the flanks still alive, and my backline support is pretty damaged. So it's an epic battle so far, really exciting, really back and forth, both clinging on, we feel like. In terms of points, I got this 1 point here, 2 points here, and 1 for Warlord, so that puts me on 6 in total. And then Sam, none of us were within this, and Sam got 1 for there and 1 for there because he's moved on to that now, so he got 2 in total. So that puts us on 6-5. So we'll see which is the superior objective, clockwise from number 1. So it is a 1. So this objective is now a critical part of the battlefield, as it is worth 2 points. That's going to be really important in this game. So let's see what the Tau can do in their turn 3. So although the Tau lines were fractured and splintered, Blood Angels between every unit, they've managed to return fire and get themselves into a pretty good position. So he fired 2 units and one of the hammerheads to kill off the assault marines. And I think it took the other hammerhead as well. He fired into the assault marines with his missiles and then finished off the Redeemer with his railgun. Then there was a lot, and then this guy fired plasma into Mephi and just managed to finish him off. I got really unlucky on my saves with Mephi. Just made no armor saves, only got a couple of feel no pains, and he just died. It was very unfortunate because I was going to heal him with my priest, obviously. Then he returned fire into the Death Company, and now there are only 3 Death Company models left, 2 Thunderhammers and 1 Power Sword, because he pulled out and then just sprayed in fire from these guys and this guy, and then his Fusion Commander dropped in, deep striked on an assassination attempt. He got good hits and wounds. He got 3, but I got 2 of my saves and only got 3 damage on his Fusion. So this guy is still on, I believe, 3 wounds Lamarties. So we've got a few of the Death Company ready to continue their rampage in this flank, but they are thinly spread. I think I overstretched myself in the second turn, and then these guys are pressing on, and I've got this captain who should hopefully start doing something in the game. So let's get stuck in to Blood Angels turn 3. So the Blood Angels, I decided instead of sending the Death Company after these guys, I thought I could finish him off, but he's hitting pretty badly now. These guys, you know, they're still dangerous, but I really feared this guy killing off Lamarties. I want Lamarties to come in and save me in the later turns. So I kept Lamarties within 3 inches of this objective, make sure I score 2 points, sent the Death Company in. 1 died in Overwatch, and he passed his Invuln save. So he actually, on the 1 Thunderhammer that I got through, so even with reroll, so that was unlucky, and he did take 3 wounds from crack grenades from both units, so he has taken 3 wounds, so he's got 2 or 3 left on his Iridian battle suit. Over here, these guys threw crack grenades at the hammerhead, but to no avail. They then charged in, and this guy killed 2 of the Pathfinders down here, so he's only got 2 Markolites left in that squad, and they will be minus to hit because the heavy weapons are pulling out of combat. This guy diced up the commander with plasma, and then these 2 combined their efforts. I really fluffed it with my captain, who's just not doing well this game, but I still managed to get a solid 8 wounds onto this hammerhead, taking it down a bracket and forcing it to move, so it really won't be hitting very well next turn. So the Blood Angels, you know, they're pushing on, but I've still got this big block. I'm going to send this guy and the priest that way next turn. Hopefully Sam can't finish off this guy, and then I can buff him with the priest and get him back up full and healthy. But this guy's still got fusion blasters, and he's going to cut me apart, hitting on 2s, possibly kill the Marties. We've got these guys all over here, nice and secure on the sort of centre left flank. And then I am holding an objective here and an objective here with tactical marines. And these guys did manage to dagger down and throw a crack grenade and kill the piranha that was threatening this objective. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 points at the end of the turn. I've killed a commander, I've done a little bit of damage over here, and I've done a lot of damage here. And Sam has earned 1 point for there, 1 point for there, and 1 point for there, so he's earned 3. So that puts him on 8 points, and it puts me on 10 points. The Blood Angels are climbing slowly ahead in a lead, and it's going to be turn 4 for the Tau. So we'll just roll to see which is superior. So that's number 1, clockwise. We've got 2, nice. So it's over here. So I have to kill these guys off. Well, Sam's going to get an extra 2 points. So I could pull him back into the lead. Depends how lucky he gets. I think he's going to do a lot of finishing off of units this turn, and there could be not many Blood Angels left, and this list could have fallen flat on its face. I think I really missed the firepower of the Storm Raven, but it's been an interesting game. It's been really fun, really back and forth, and it's all still to play for. I have 2 points in the lead. So the Tau pulled a lot of forces, the Hammerhead, Stealth Suits, Fusion Blaster and Stealth Suits into range of my Death Company and Lamarties. These guys fired off 20 shots, strength 5, AP -1, and just massacred the Death Company, just peeled the armour plates from them. And then this guy fired, but he made his Invulns. These guys fired, and this guy fired, but again, he made his Invulns, and then a couple of feel no pains, so he's on 1 wound. Lamarties, he's doing okay, but he's surrounded, but fear not, I pity the fools, for they are surrounding me. And then basically these guys, he fired everything and it took everything he had, but he managed to kill the captain. So again, I can't use that priest to heal anything, and the +1 strength hasn't been helping this game anyway, just because of the toughness values of Tau units and the codex. So not been great. He's helped the captain with lightning claws, to be fair, with +1 strength, but apart from that, the priest hasn't been that useful. But I'm going to try him again, I'm sure, in other battle reports. I do like the idea of this little thing going on here with the command attachment, but not sure it's really going to win me the game this time. But I am ahead on points. Now, it's my turn 4, so we'll see what I can do with the Blood Angels to stay ahead. I'm 2 points ahead at the moment. Can I keep it that way? Doesn't look like it, because he's securing a lot of objectives here. And he's got 2-pointer big objective on that side. So the Blood Angels have cried the name of Sanguinius and charged into battle. The captain moved up to about this level here, just in the back corner, and then the 2 characters just moved under here. The 2 characters just charged directly up. They threw a couple of crack grenades into the top squad, and then he charged in, tied the top squad up, and they charged directly up into the squad that couldn't see them and engaged it. So this had 6 models in it still, and this had 4 models because 1 had been killed by a crack grenade. Then over here, Lamarty decided to just abandon this objective to the Tau. Too many Tau forces to prevent them having it, and he went over here. There was 2 drones there and the ghost kill within 3 inches of that objective. He threw a crack grenade because he got within 6 inches of the drones and killed 1 of the drones. And he charged in, but 4 attacks on that guy, 2 on the drones. He killed off the remaining drone. Sam sacrificed 2 of his drones with Saviour Protocol successfully, and D3 damage went through, 3 damage, putting this on 1 wound. That Blood Crozier is doing really well, but not quite claiming the objective. But he has contested it, because neither of these objectives secured, so that stops Sam getting a point there. In terms of combat over here, you can obviously tell the captain, he's got 5 hits, 5 kills, and just overkilled the squad that he was facing. And then I got a bit lucky on my attacks, which is what I was hoping for, because I put everything into clearing this objective, and I managed to kill off 5 of the 6, and then the last one died from battle shock. So that meant that I claimed the superior objective, which means that this turn, turn 4, Blood Angels are getting 1 2 points, 3 points, 4 points. And Sam is not getting this objective here, but he is getting 1 from this. And then Old Reliable over here, this railgun, 2 points. So that puts the Blood Angels on 14 points and the Tau on 10. So the Tau are certainly dominating the battlefield. They've got everything. They can totally wipe out the Blood Angels probably. This guy's on his last wound. These guys are all fully healed, because I forgot to mention that Sanguinary Priest took 3... the Sanguinary Ancient took 3 wounds from a railgun last turn, but the priest managed to heal him. So I think he's just taken 1 wound, hasn't he? But apart from that, my characters are still fighting. We're holding the superior objective, so we'll see which one it is now. I'd love to roll a 2. If I roll a 2, I'll be so happy. It is a 1. Ooh. So Sam is going to be holding the superior objective next turn. Can my characters come and hunt down these stealth suits and tanks, or can Sam pour enough units onto it that is impossible to take? So at 14 points to 10, Blood Angels have a lead, but the Tau can easily crush them. Let's see what happens in turn 5. Oh, one thing, we forgot to do the combat over here, and the ghost kill actually managed to hit and wound Lamarty's, and I got a 2 up. I got a 2 on my dice, so Lamarty's dice, so Sam's actually scored another point there. So it's 11-14, so it's all to play for. Sam's going to have the superior objective now. Let's see what they can do. Tau, turn 5. So Tau, turn 5. They moved these guys to shoot at the priest, and they poured fire into him but failed to do any wounds. This guy took a ridiculous amount of incoming firepower. Railgun, smart missile systems, 16 shots of AP -1, strength 5 from these guys. He had a mark light on him, rerolling 1s, but he managed to just pass every save, just kept getting those invulns, and the couple of wounds that slipped through got those 5 up, feel no pains. So this guy's just absolutely rocking it. But with that 3 up invuln, I never normally take the shield, but as you can tell, it's getting to a really exciting game, to the final phases of the game. Over here, these guys obviously killed off Lamarty's at the end of the Blood Angels' turn, so they just secured this objective and sprayed fire into the tack squad, but I got, again, lucky on my saves, just needed the luck that I needed, and they clung onto that objective. Nothing was attempted on this, so the Blood Angels have clung onto that objective as well. So we're currently holding the 2 objectives that we need to just keep those points trickling in, as we are 3 points ahead already, but Sam has certainly secured the most valuable objective. But I'm still holding this one, it's still worth a point, as long as I can kill off the last unit of Fire Warriors underneath. So let's see what Blood Angels can do in their turn 5. So the Blood Angels have basically done another audacious move, and they jumped down to here, so they're just a few inches away from the remaining hammerhead on this flank that had 8 wounds on it. Then they got a charge off. This guy failed his charge, he'd moved down 6 inches to there but failed to get a charge off. These guys managed to both get a charge off and get into the drones and the hammerhead. Now the drones got killed off, one by the Sanguinary Priest, Sanguinary Ancient kind of messed up, but this guy managed to do 2 wounds to the drones and 3 through doing 9 wounds to the hammerhead, blowing it up. Everything went off, which was beautiful. Now, a little bit of a question, we're not sure which way it would go, because we can't remember whether it's a number of models or a number of units to hold an objective. But what I could have done is quite easily just charged these guys instead, because I was well within charge range, and wiped these guys out and the drones instead. I'm sure it's a number of units, and Sam's sure it's a number of models, so what we're just going to say is this is contested over here, so there's no points here. Sam's going to get a point there for that objective, and a point there for that objective, and a point there for that objective. So that gives him 3 points, but it gives me 1, 2 points here, and potentially another 2 points either way for us. But I feel it would have been contested at a minimum if I just killed them off. You would have had a drone and a hammerhead in range, so it would have been 2 versus 2 either way. So at a minimum it's contested. Or potentially I would have held that, but we'll say contested for now. We'll say it's a number of models, or you know, whatever. We'll just call it a draw there, because I would have just targeted these guys. We didn't communicate about that before we did the attacks. So I will roll to see if the game continues, because that would give Sam at the end of this turn an extra 3 points, which puts you on 14, and it would give me an extra 2 points, which would put me on 16. So I'll be winning by 2 points. If the game goes on, I think these guys, their reign of terror must be over soon. So we'll see what happens. 1 or 2, it's over. So it's a 4, so the game goes on to turn 6. Let's see what the Tau can do with turn 6. They've got this sneaky fusion commander still here on 3 wounds. Then that could spell the end for the Blood Angels, but we'll see. It really looks like the gods are favouring the Blood Angels, because we just rolled a 5, making this the special objective worth 2 points this turn. So Blood Angels have been clawing at that specialist objective for the last 2 turns, and it's just fallen into their lap. But Sam has an undoubtedly powerful amount of firepower within range of killing those tactical marines off. Will he divert power away from the characters? Let's see after Tau turn 6. So the Tau surrounded the 2 characters here with the Fusion Blaster and the stealth suits. They also lined up 6 guys here. Now they've still got the Fireblade and the accelerator drone, pulse accelerator drone, so that meant they were firing 18 shots down into these characters. He then also lined up these guys as a firing line against the TAC Marines that were on that objective. He realised that even if with the maximum advance, you couldn't get that onto that objective to contest it, so he decided to try and shoot me off it. Now in the shooting phase, he poured loads of fire in with these guys, but only managed to do 1 wound. That's supposed to be 1 wound. Sorry.
Second wound earlier.
Did he?
Yeah, from fusion.
Okay, 2 wounds on this guy. And then this guy fired into this guy, but only managed to get 1 wound through, and he rolled 3 on the damage chart. We've all been out of command points for a long time, so this guy sat on 1 wound. He was healed up earlier by the priest. These guys all sprayed into the captain, but didn't manage to do any wounds. So the 2 characters stay on that objective. So it's the end of Tau, turn 6. Let's see what the Blood Angels can do. We literally have 4 guys over there on that objective, and 2 characters here, and 1 priest down here against the might of the Tau. So in the Blood Angels' turn, the captain went towards the stealth suits, managed to kill 3, just wasn't that successful, got a couple of 2s with his hits. The priest managed to get a decent amount of wounds through, but Sam's shield, his invuln, saved him, because it's 3 fusions, 1 shield. I fired a couple of shots over there, and I've actually done, by plinking 3 wounds to this hammerhead, but it's not going to make any difference over the course of the game. So I am holding this objective, whether it's models or units. I am most certainly holding that objective. So that gives me 2 points over there, which puts me now on 18, and Sam has 1, 2, 3 over there with Old Reliable, which puts him on 17. So we'll roll to see if the game goes on to turn 7. And it is a 6, so the game goes on. Right, so we'll roll the superior objective now. This could be a real game changer. And it is number 2, which is the one held by the Fire Warrior. So it could be a snatch and grab Tau victory from the Blood Angels in turn 7. We'll find out after Tau turn 7. So an absolutely epic turn 7 from the Blood Angels perspective for the Tau. So these guys unleashed, just spraying Gatling gun pulse fire into the captain. This guy joined them, spraying his melter fusion into that guy because he couldn't hit, and the cyclic ironraker into the captain, Baron Harkonnen, the Red Baron. During the smoke and dust being kicked up, this guy sprayed 3 fusion weapons into the captain, and then when all the dust had settled, he had taken a mere wound. He truly feels no pain. So that is absolutely epic, and these guys fired into him as well, and they did nothing as well. So, and that was another 18 shots. So just absolutely ridiculous. He did pop a shot with this guy, but again saved it with my invuln on that storm shield, and then his missiles went in. Oh no, he couldn't. Sorry, we shot it, and then we had to re-roll it because it went into these guys because these guys are closer. So we put 1 wound on those guys with a railgun, another with missiles. They're on 2 remaining. So so they will hold that objective until the end of the game. So I feel like I'm going to just charge backwards again over here, 12 inches around there, 6 inch charge up. If I can clear these Fire Warriors with these characters, then it will be in the bag for the Blood Angels on the 7th turn. So let's see what happens. The final Blood Angel turn, turn 7. It's been an epic fight. The Blood Angels moved up to here, the 2 characters, and they charged up, got an 11 and a 9 inch charge. They tore apart the Fire Warriors to the last man. However, there's a drone and a Fireblade here, and neither of which has been hurt. So although my characters are holding this objective, it's contested. So what that means is Sam will gain 1 point for over here, 1 point for here, and 1 point for over there, putting him on 20 points in total. I will get, I'm on 18 at the moment, but I will only receive this turn 1 point for over there because I'm not holding this objective, and I decided to leave it to try and snatch and win the game with this objective. But unfortunately, with the 2 units there, that pesky drone ruining it for the Blood Angels, the foul Xenos technology, so in the end, the Tau snatch it. They've been chasing the Blood Angels, biting at their heels for 7 long turns, and in the final turn they've won it with 20 points to 19, or you could say 21 to 20 because we've both got line breaker. So it's been an epic day of gaming, an epic battle report. That's what happens when you experiment, you know, you have some fun, have exciting games, but sometimes you just get pipped to the post. But an epic battle there, with the Tau's manoeuvrability allowing them to break and splinter apart, but not let that affect them, actually turn to their advantage to tear apart the Blood Angels' lines. Every time the Blood Angels were charging in, they were taking that 5-up hit on Overwatch, which was just tearing them apart. So really the only units that did well in combat were the units that were attached to the captain, because he had Angel's Wings stopping the Overwatch from hitting him. But then the Blood Angels' manoeuvrability allowed them to bounce between these 2 objectives, keeping ahead of the game, keeping points. So it was a really, really close battle, but in the end just couldn't finish off that 1 wound model there that would have kept me in the lead for 7 turns. So it's a Tau victory, 21 points to 20.